which one of the two drove you more? Is it having one more than Michael or Belichick? I gotta ask you, bro, you're killing me.
I would rather have won than lost, and I'd rather have 7 than 6.
Welcome back to the Wilson Brothers channel. I'm David. We got Isaac the Viking here.
What's up, guys?
Today we are reacting to 7-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady being interviewed by Patrick Bet David on why is he motivated. And he says, apparently, I'm driven by enemies.
Yeah, enemies.
All right, let's go. Let's see how this is.
What drove you more? Was it to get one more than Belichick or one more than Michael?
It was neither. I promise you.
BS.
I promise you, it wasn't. It was. When I really doubled down on my health and wellness in about 2013 with Alex, who I referred to earlier, and I said when I turned 30, I want to play till I'm 40, and I started to improve in my 30s, which doesn't really happen for athletes, because I really started to work on all the things that were making me successful physically. I only trained doing the things that really worked. My nutrition got better, my hydration got better, all the pliability treatments I got better. And he and I would joke, dude, like, this is unbelievable. I'm getting faster, my arm's getting better, I learned better techniques. A new mentor came into my life, Tom House, who's another great throwing coach. I learned a lot from him. I had all these years with Belichick. Mentally, I knew what to do. Physically, I was improving. Emotionally, I was at a great point. Like, why can't I continue to go? And I just thought, man, I'm going to play 10 more years. And when I was 35, I was like, I feel better at 35 than I did at 30. Like, I still got another 10 years in me. And I literally committed, I got 10 more years. And I said, I'm going to play till I'm 45 years old. And last year, I was 45 years old and playing. So it's not about, like, for me, when I made that decision at 35, it wasn't, I'm going to play until I win 7 Super Bowls. I never once said that. We won the 5th against Atlanta, which was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Like, that game, my teammates, like, that was sick. That was incredible. I still watch that, and I'm like, I'm glad I was playing, because I'd had a heart attack if I was watching. And then 2017, we actually had, like, probably a better chance to win, and we lost to the Eagles in the Super Bowl, and we played a great game. We just, I played great. We didn't win. Then 2018, we freaking found a way to beat the Rams through a lot of good process, we weren't the most talented team in 2018. We won on process. We won on culture. Our culture drivers led us to succeed. We won through work ethic. We went through a lot of intangibles. And then I went to Tampa in 2020, and, you know, we put together a great group of players, teammates. Everyone was super focused that year. And then I just think winning Super Bowls was the result of a lot of great process.
Men aren't being taught this. They're not being taught.
I love this.
God, it's so good. Yeah, it's killer.
They're not being taught how to have discipline regardless of the outcome, because you can't always control the outcome, like he's saying. And I think that's the problem with workout culture is you can control how many times you go to the gym. It's not always going to be your best workout. Sometimes it's going to suck. But going to the gym, being disciplined in your process, having the culture around you of men, that can hold you to that standard, is ultimately what's going to create outcomes that are in your favor. They're not always going to go your way.
Yeah, it's ultimately about the journey, not the destination. And this is why, like, so many people who win the lottery end up broke again, because they didn't actually go through the journey of being disciplined to make that money.
That's so true. One time I went to a shoe shop to get running shoes when I used to run more.
This is random.
What the hell are you talking about?
No, but hear me out. Hear me out. So it was a personalized service. The guy would come up, greet me, take my measurements, everything. And we just got talking. And he's like, yeah, man, so what do you want to do? I was like, I just want to run, because I do so much powerlifting. I just want to get back into running a little bit. And he's like, yeah, man, I've done 28 marathons. I was like, really? It's this older guy. I was like, wow, how did you have the motivation to keep doing it again and again and again? And he said, because I enjoyed the process of training for them more than the actual marathon themselves. He said, it was the journey that I enjoyed so much. I love that daily grind of just having to run a little bit further, and challenging myself. Because he said he knew so many people that they would accomplish the marathon, but the marathon was a goal. And now they say, what do I do?
Goal is, it's not about the getting to the end result, because the end result is never going to be perfection.
Yep.
You'll be chasing perfection for the rest of your life, but it's the 1% every day of making a conscious decision. No matter how you feel, you will consistently stay with the process. And that's what Tom Brady did. 7 Super Bowls. That didn't come just because he was lucky. Maybe 1 or 2.
A couple.
Yeah, maybe if you have 1 or 2 Super Bowls, you're like, oh, maybe you just had a really good team. But in order to win 7 over the course of his career, which makes him the GOAT, is the process, the culture that he created as a leader to invite his teammates in.
Exactly.
And say, we can't do this by ourselves. We have to do it together collectively as a unit.
I don't care how good any one of you are sitting out there. It doesn't matter unless you got a great team around you.
Boom.
You know, you could be great. You probably are great. You need a lot of other great people to support you.
Tom,
And protein shakes.
Absolutely.
And protein shakes.
I appreciate the answer. It's awesome. It's great. But I'm selfish and greedy, man. I got to push back. Let me tell you why. Okay, so I'm writing a book right now. It's going to come out December 5th. It's not out. It's going to come out in like 4 or 5 months. It's called Choose Your Enemies Wisely.
Choose your enemies.
I think you've chosen your enemies wisely, because I think for me, I'm driven by enemies. I can't even describe it to you. Like, I have a list of all the quotes, everything they said, what they looked at. I mean, names are for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm driving at this point in my life. And then you graduate enemies, and then you say good things about them, and you go find new ones. And then boom, new ones. Boom, new ones, right? Okay. So let's say that's really the reason. Let's buy into them. We're going to be skeptical as fans, and we'll have our beers and talk and say, I don't agree, I agree. We'll do our part, right? Because you're the guy. We're on the other side. I don't know. If you're going to do that, then you would have stayed with the team, and you would have wrapped it up there. Robert Kraft is willing to give you a 1-day contract. I think he said it this year, May 23rd, to come back, pay trees. I want to do the ceremony, which frickin' is going to be sick. Of course, whether he's joking or whatever, I'm just being playful about it. You know, he loves you the way he looks at you. He's got so much love for you. But you come back and you get your 7th. Just like you said, maybe 1% of media drove you. Which one of the 2 drove you more? Even if it's by 1% or 0.5%, isn't having one more than Michael or Belichick? I gotta ask you, bro, you're killing me. Even if it's 0.5%, one of the 2.
I would rather have won than lost. And I'd rather have 7 than 6.
I get it.
But if Coach Belichick was to win a Super Bowl this year, I don't think it takes anything away from me. I think it only adds to how great he is.
Agreed.
Like, I have a great appreciation for him, because without him, I'm not sitting here today. So, like, he wasn't my competition. He was my competition when I played against him that one game, and we won. But he wasn't, like, I genuinely root for them. I really do. Like, I think every once in a while, and maybe you guys have seen little snippets of me that I do have a little grudge from time to time. And I think that's totally fine. I think emotion, maximizing and optimizing our potential is physical, mental, and emotional. Mm-hmm. I believe that. Physically,
and spiritual.
I was able to. Mentally, emotionally, there's little triggers absolutely all the time. Some opponent says something in check. They really didn't want me in high school. Check. Oh, I was a 6th-round pick. Check. All those little things add up. But the man in the glass, that's the one that motivated me. He's the guy I was accountable to. Nothing that anyone did took away from me. The only person that could take away from me is me.
Let's go.
So can I give you my interpretation of
radical
that?
ownership?
Okay. By the way, this is my I speak sign language, right? So I'm trying to kind of read in between the lines. The way I take it is, it felt good beating them straight up, the one game that you played. But in my mind, based on what you just said, having one more than Michael is more important than having one more than Belichick. That's how I process what you just said. Is that fair? Is that fair? Can I live with that? Can you?
I I love Michael Jordan as literally. There's no athlete
Tom,
I love
not
more than
running
Michael
for
Jordan.
office.
So Michael's like, if there's your kids, you know, and that throw. I don't know how they feel about me. I think today
they love
made a
you.
positive
They
impact.
love you. They
but
love you.
Michael Jordan was everyone wanted to be like Mike. So like even when I see Mike today, I'm still like, that's Michael Jordan right there, you know?
I love how this video is titled "I'm driven by enemies," but he doesn't say any of that.
Yeah, that's a clickbait.
You got me.
Patrick,
that's
it's Patrick Peg David who said
It's
that
his
he was
book.
driven by his enemies.
It's his book, Choose Your Enemies Wisely. I mean, we can all assume from watching this that Tom Brady enjoyed getting one more than Michael, more than he did Belichick.
He did.
It's pretty obvious in his face. He wants to be politically correct.
I've been looking for answers for 10 years.
To not say it out loud, but he's just as big of a competitor as anyone that's ever played.
I mean, he's called Psycho Tom for a reason.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know why they'd even compare it to Michael. It's two completely different sports.
Well,
rings, accomplishments.
people talk about the GOATs of different sports, like the GOATs of basketball. You know, Jordan. Some people think LeBron, but Jordan. You got Brady. You got every sport has that. But I love his motivation. His motivation is always he takes motivation from different places, and it's always how can I become better? How can I collectively as a group become better? Rally the troops. That was a fun talk. It was. The whole time Patrick Bet David is trying to get Tom to reveal something. So he's asking all these very interesting questions of,
answer me.
I knew you wanted to be better than them.
I know like the Tom Brady of today is a lot more humble than the Tom Brady of past. Like if you interviewed Tom 10 years ago, he would have probably had a very different answer because as you get older, you mature and you have wisdom about how you come across certain topics. But for him, you can see the fire still in him. It's just a different kind of fire. Because now he has kids and he's trying to raise his kids and go to their football games and their soccer practices but the fire inside of him hasn't changed. But for him, he's humble in the fact that he knew that he couldn't do it on his own. He had a unit of men around him that, hey, we're going towards the Super Bowl. That's the goal, but the process to get there, as we were talking about, is just as important.
Yeah.
Well, I also like that. I don't even know if he realizes it, but like. He idolizes people who also love the process more than the destination.
Yes.
Like Michael and Kobe even, like all of these people, like they did not necessarily care about winning the rings. Like they all cared about the process. And based on what he described, it's very much the same. He loved the feeling of being physically fit and feeling amazing at 35 and 45, and he just wanted to keep going.
He had a chip on his shoulder too because he didn't have it handed to him like a lot of athletes that have natural innate abilities. He had to grow it. He had to practice. He didn't get drafted very early in his career, and he had to work his way up the strings as quarterback because he didn't start for a year.
There's a lot to learn from that. Pick idols who love the process.
For us, it's David Goggins, it's Jocko Willink, it's Joe Rogan, it's Patrick Davis.
Let the process be the actual goal itself. Don't set any like super huge goals like, oh, I've made it once I do X, Y, and Z. Like, no, the day-to-day process is the goal. Like, if you did 200 and bench last time, like your goal today is 205. It needs to be gradual, 1% increase better than the last time you did it. And it's like along the way, if you manage to win, cool. But that doesn't change the fact that it's the process you're in love with.
Same thing with the mind, same thing with mentality, emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence is your outward reflection, your physique most of the time is a reflection of your inner world.
Yep.
Like what are you practicing when you're not at the gym to become better in every area of your life and every aspect. So,
all right, guys, we appreciate you. We'll see you on the next video. We have other reaction videos here, and don't forget to subscribe. Appreciate you guys.
Peace.